Is this fodder for the Gadget Bike? Stay tuned and find out. Hey guys, it's me, George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I'm back on the Gadget Bike. And we've made a little bit of progress today, and let me show you what we got. The first thing we worked on was trying to get our chain set up finalized, and I'm not totally satisfied with the way it is, but I think it's going to work, and it is the way it is until it proves itself to be unacceptable. Let me slide you down here because I got to show you a little bit of something. First thing is I decided not to use these roller skate rollers. They work fine, but I would have had to get them. They're not perfectly square, and because of that it wanted to make the chain slide off one way or the other, and I had thought about putting a groove in it, and I started to do it on this one, and I finally realized I've already got a pre-made groove with these two wheels. And Bruce, I did test them, and I'm going to show you right now what the result was. That would be a no, Bruce. No matter how fast it's going, it ain't sparkling anymore. As you can see, they didn't sparkle even at full speed or a higher speed. So I don't know what the problem is, but they're still going to do the job that I want them to do. And I really wanted to have the lower chain go up and over the top of the rollers rather than under it. But because of the way the brake setup is on the back of this bicycle, that would interfere. And so the simplest thing was to go underneath. Now the biggest problem I had going underneath is that I had to make sure that I had clearance on this bottom rail. And as you can see, with my tensioner in place, I do have clearance there. Sorry, that's focusing on the background and not on the foreground. That's okay. But you can also see that we have our Craftsman wrench, and this is a vintage one. There is a difference in the way the font for the lettering, and it'll become more apparent after the bike is finished off, because what I intend to do is put some red paint in those letters to make them stand out a little bit more. Both nuts on either end of this open end wrench are welded to the back side. Over here what I did was I drilled right through the frame, but then I have a sleeve inside of the frame because you can just barely see it on the back side there. You can see the head of the bolt over here. Come on, focus there, girl. Yeah, she don't want to focus in that close for some reason. Anyway, you can see the head of the bolt there. And so it won't squash the frame, but it's snug in there. I made it a snug fit. And then I have a sleeve also inside of this nut, which I told you about the last time. And it all comes through and bolts out here. So it's nice and tight. And then up here, of course, we have our nut welded to the back. And we have a very small spacer down in there, and no spacers on the back of the wheels. And this bolt here is actually hollow on the back side, so that the bolt that goes in the back side has another Allen key like that. I was hoping to be able to use a matching one here, but I couldn't make up the right sizes to make it work. Anyway, so this is solid. It is not spring-loaded, but to accommodate stretch in the chain, because this is a brand new chain, I have welded this other Craftsman wrench. See that? Onto the frame here, and I welded a nut into this end. This is a wrench that I had used previously and had cut the end off. And so I just welded this nut on here, and we have this Allen wrench in there, so that if and when the time comes that I need to give it a little more tension on the chain because it stretches, I can just crank down on that Allen wrench and Allen bolt, and it will tighten it up again. Our clutch is all bolted down tight. What else we got going on? Oh yeah, the last thing I did tonight was weld on this stop for the rear axle. I have one on each side now. And then one of the other things I've been working on is my fuel tank. And no, I'm not going to just use wire ties to hold it on there. That's just temporary. And I'm not sure that the setup I have is going to be finalized. Right now, all I have on there is a half a tin can. Like this, right here. Like that. And then I have some rubber weather stripping, self-adhesive weather stripping set on all the way around it, so that this is cushioned and won't damage that. But it seems to be a little bit too flexible, although that might not be too big of an issue. I have it spaced away from the frame back here. And you'll notice that I put the gas tank on this side instead of the other side. And I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do when it comes time to mounting the toolbox, which is over there on the bench. Yep, right there. Because I have so much stuff in the way here. But I may be able to make it work. But I figured I didn't want to have the gas cap over on this side and getting involved with all of this stuff in case I would spill gas, which I hope I wouldn't. But it worked out fine. And there you can see the back side of that can, spaghetti can. Exactly the same can that we used to make our toolbox out of. Just split in half, actually in thirds. And so then our fuel line comes underneath, comes across down here and into our sediment bowl. And oh yeah, Bruce suggested that I should put a cap on my oil drain, so I did. I only had a green one, Bruce. Hope that's acceptable. And then check this out, huh? Custom pull handle. Yeah, you saw that in the beginning when I asked you about those things that I thought might get included in our build. Well, there is part of it right there. Yep. And let's see, what's another item out of that I had? Oh, look at those handle grips. You see them? How cool is that? Those came off of that exercise thing too. And I was going to use that to hold the tank in place, but I haven't found a good way to really attach it. Still might happen, you never know. What else have we got going on here? Maybe that's about it. Doesn't seem like much when you're working at it. And I had quite a bit of a time to get my chain and sprocket and everything lined up on this side. I probably spent 3 hours on this setup trying to get it to work. But this chain is tight like a banjo. If I had our Peak here, he could probably play me a tune on it. So I put oil in the motor. It's full, ready to go. You'll notice the head is bolted down. I torqued it down to 15 foot-pounds. That's foot-pounds, not inch-pounds. It calls for, I think, 200 inch-pounds, but I don't have an inch-pound torque wrench. and so I transposed it over. It would have been around 17 or so, but because of the close proximity of the head to the top rail on the bike, I had to use a universal joint. So I cheated on the lesser side, and I only did 15 foot-pounds instead of 17 foot-pounds. And the worst part of it is it has the original head gasket in there, because the head gasket that I got in the mail yesterday or Tuesday is the wrong one. Way too small. It said it was for 5 horsepower vertical Tecumseh motor, but it sure is a small 5 horsepower Tecumseh motor. Ain't nowhere near as big as the head gasket on this one. So yeah, so I'm taking a chance on that. I did bolt my plate in place. I still have to put my tech screw in right here. I forgot about that, and I need to do that. I'll do that before I go in tonight so I don't forget about it. I will paint that when I tear it all apart for the final cleanup. So yeah, that's about where we're at. I've got it jacked up more in the back, and I've got this bracket mounted up on top. I had it down low before, but I needed to get the bicycle as close to level as possible. The gas tank, nothing is level on here. I was wondering, is this level here? Is the top of the motor level here? This goes this way and this goes this way. And so I decided, in lining up my gas tank, let me go back around again. You can say, George, why don't you just finish your job on one side? I decided that I would line the gas tank up with the top of the motor. So the gas tank is parallel with the head, okay? And when we get around to putting the toolbox on, we'll make that parallel too, same way. So I'm just about ready to do a start. But it's late. It's after 9 o'clock now. This old man's getting tired. So I'm going to go in, and Lord willing, I'll be back out again tomorrow, and I will double check everything, make sure everything's functioning before I put any gas in the gas tank, and we'll give it a fire off and see how it works. Yeah, I'm always a little bit jukey when it comes time to start them, because you never know if you missed something or something wasn't figured quite exactly right. Yeah, I found out one thing. I can't turn this all the way back. Can't spin it around because it hits on the motor. So I may have to cut one of these wings. But that's okay. That's not a big deal. Even if I have to unscrew the screw on here and turn it and lift it up and reset it, turn it again. I suppose I could probably twist this so it was this way, and that would probably give me enough turn to open this up for the oil to drain. But we'll see. We don't got to worry about that right away anyway. So yeah, I'm babbling now. I think that's it for tonight. Yeah, our pull start thing is all bolted on. All this is bolted on. Okay then, so there you have it. Until next time, this is George. Oh, here we go. Until next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing. And oh, one of my subscribers congratulated me on my last video, I think, said that I had 900 subscribers. I don't check them real often, and I was a little bit surprised. We're not going to do a giveaway now, but it's only been a few months that got me from 800 to 900, and I'm searching high and low to find a clock to fit inside that 57 Chevy headlight rim, and we're going to make a clock out of that headlight rim, and that will be our giveaway for the 1,000th subscriber. Woohoo! That'll be quite a drawing. So anyway, thank you all for making my channel enjoyable. You're the ones that make it enjoyable for me. I appreciate you watching and commenting, like I said. Till next time, bye.